I basically missed the entirety of year 8 when I was at school. So I was an extra in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Oh, wow. What?
Yeah.
You kept that quiet?
Yeah.
Tell us more about that.
So
I don't care about the other story now. Tell us more about that.
I went to a stage school when I was younger. It was like just literally down my road, your classic like dancing, singing, whatever. And when I was in year 8, they were like, well, so where I grew up in London, the studios where they filmed Harry Potter was in North London, which is where I live. So it was close. And when they needed extras, they basically just rallied all the stage schools in the areas and were like, well, we just need kids. And if you've ever seen the film, there are loads of kids. It's not like it's not like, oh, you're special or whatever, but it's like there are loads, so they just needed people, bodies. And because I was in year 8 and my parents were like, that's not an important year. Like,
it's actually not an important year. I think isn't that the only year when nothing happens?
Pretty much.
You've got the exams at year 7, and then I think you can choose your options year 9, and then year 10 and the exams.
So
year 8 now, fuck it.
Yeah, no one cared. Okay. So I was like, yeah, I mean, I'll do it. And like loads of people. So I actually had this conversation like a few days ago, because I was like, in my area where I grew up, like, it wasn't that weird because quite a few people did it, because we all went to, well, a lot of us went to stage schools, a lot of us went to like these things that we had the opportunity to do that. And because the studio was in the area, it wasn't like oh, that's really cool kind of thing. It was just like, oh yeah, you're doing that. That guy did that last year. Like, you're not special.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
Completely different response here.
Well, no, because obviously up here,
like, we've got Media City now, but that's what in the last 5 years.
It's not really comparable, though.
No, it's really not.
No, I think.
But even so, what do we do up here? CBBC Sports.
Yeah, I mean, Channel 4's here now, but it's not really Goblet of Fire, is it? I mean,
no, I mean, it was a great experience, and I'm like, that was my peak. So at like 30 years old now, I'm like, I peaked at 12.
Nice.
But I will forever be on IMDb, and my face is immortalized on YouTube.
Yeah.
So.
The way IMDb works is you can't make a profile for yourself. You have to be credited in an actual film.
Yeah, so one of my friends in sixth form was like, I am making you an IMDb page.
Nice.
I don't think it still exists. I think it was like, they were like, no. But
no, you're probably on there somewhere.
You know what? It'll be interesting to look it up after the podcast.
Would you be in the credits, do you reckon?
No, so in the credits it just says like uncredited extras, basically, because it lists the stage goals.
Oh, I see.
So it doesn't, because there were like 1,000 extras, so yeah, they would not list you all on the credits.
But it was a fun experience, though.
Baby sister
amazing.
Loves Harry Potter so much. I'm like, I met one of the extras.
Yeah, do you know what's funny? Is that I fucking hate Harry Potter.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Why? Why'd you hate it? I've not watched it in
think
so long, but I watched it loads over Christmas.
I grew up. I grew up with the books, so they came out. I think I was in primary school, but I was that generation that they became popular to begin with. And I remember reading them, and even when I was a kid, I remember reading them and being like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, and even like now, I look back and I kind of go, "Yeah, they're shit books. Like, they're just shit."
Wow. I've not read the books, but I've wanted to. I've read half of the first one.
Honestly, it's a waste of your time.
But they've done so well. There must be something good about them.
Yeah, because people relate, because they want to be like, oh, Harry Potter was this weird kid and we're weird, so let's just pretend we're Harry Potter and we're like the weird
I will
kid.
say, my mum is an English teacher and she absolutely loves them. Like, she was reading them before they even started doing the films.
I hate it. But, like, you know, best thing I ever did.
Yeah.
And it was a really good experience. And it was a really good experience for, like, not just the fact that you're in a film or whatever, because that's not, I mean, now, yeah, sometimes my mates will be like, oh, like, send me the YouTube link or whatever. I'll be like, yeah, fine. You know, it's a fun story. It's like that fun fact that when you work somewhere, they go like, introduce yourself and tell us like 2 facts about yourself. That's like my fact. But like, it was really good in the sense that you meet loads of people. Like, I met, so the particular scene that I was in, I was legit. So you're in the Great Hall.
Yeah.
I was in Ravenclaw. Not that that makes any difference whatsoever, but that was like the team I was assigned to. And this is my favorite bit of the entire thing, and I'm actually really glad to have this like out in the public now. Like this is this is the bit I cling on to every time. I was sat at the very end of the table where all the teachers were stood. So you've got like the stage, you've got the teachers, then you've got the tables, and I was right at the end of the tables, and my exact position was right next to where Alan Rickman was as Snape.
Oh,
wow.
So there were like, I've got pictures, there's like years of like, and in between takes, Alan Rickman would come and like sit with us and just be like,
what's going on?
Hey kids, let's talk. And it was like so good, because I remember there was a guy, because I was 12 or 13, I was like that year group, I was really young still when I did it, but there was a guy sat opposite me who was a few years older. I mean, he probably was about like, I don't know, 15-ish at the time. And I don't know if you've ever seen Dogma, but it's basically a film. It's Kevin Smith film.
Doesn't ring any bells.
So, right. So Kevin Smith, I think he's a producer, director, whatever, but he did like Jay and Silent Bob, Dogma, that like loads of films that were really big in like the 90s, sort of late 90s, early 2000s. But there's a film called Dogma in which Alan Rickman plays, I want to say Gabriel, like the angel. And one of the major plot points is that he does not have any balls.
All right.
Quite a specific plot point.
Yeah. So like, because I remember this, and I remember this so vividly when I was like 12 or 13. And that basically this extra that I was sat opposite with, and Alan Rickman was sat next to me, and we were at this table, and he's like asking us like, you know, how's it going, whatever, and do you have any questions? And this other kid like opposite me just goes, yeah, so how was it to play an angel with no balls? And everyone was like, what?
Because that's a sharp contrast to his character in obviously Harry Potter, because he was literally pretending to be a Death Eater. Like, you gotta have some fucking balls for that, even if they are raw.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I've not seen too many of Alan Rickman's films, but I'm now 2-1 on the evil scale.
Yeah.
Obviously, the first one being Die Hard.
Yeah. For some reason, I remember, I think it was this is going to sound stupid, a Family Guy cutaway where it was something to do with Alan Rickman's answering machine. And it was like, hello, I'm Alan Rickman. Please leave a message. And then it would be like, hello, I'm Alan Rickman. I am testing leaving a message or something. I can't remember. It was some stupid like Family Guy thing. I don't even watch that show anymore. But I mean, that when you say Alan Rickman, that's what I think about. I don't think about Snape.
Fair.
I don't think about the
about
genius
Hans Gruber.
actor that was Snape.
Like Alan Rickman to me is Hans Gruber, and then second is the guy from Love Actually. And I've only ever seen that film once, and everyone always goes, oh, but you know, he's in Love Actually, whatever. But he was in Love, and he's like, I don't know, an important character. And I have that thing because he's the one that like buys his mistress a necklace, and then
See, I have seen that film years and years ago, and I've never put the two together because I've probably not seen it after watching Harry Potter.
I did not see Love Actually for years. I just didn't. It's not like I wasn't a conscious choice. I just never watched it. And then every year at Christmas would come by and people would be like, oh, you haven't seen Love Actually? We have to watch Love Actually. And it just wouldn't happen. And then one year my sister was like, you have to watch Love Actually. It's so good. And I watched it and I was like, so I waited all this time for this.
See, completely different.
It's been built up to the point where it's like, it's only going to go downhill from here.
I think it was a movie of its time in the sense that like there's that bit with Keira Knightley and the guy with the cards and you know the guy from what's his face the teachers in not Zombieland but The Walking Dead.
Oh
that
yeah.
guy, and he's like, oh I love you, and he's got the cards, and it's like that in 2002 whatever.
Yeah, that's pretty
That's
cool.
cute.
Yeah, that's nice.
In 2020,
It's like
quite
nah.
creepy.
Yeah.